Welcome to Deep Dive by the Quiet Footnote. Today we're embarking on, well, a really fascinating journey. We're exploring a book that might just revolutionize how you think about your inner life. It's Kathleen Adams' Journal to the Self. And forget everything you thought you knew about diaries, okay? This is way more profound, an invitation to self-discovery, emotional healing, real personal growth. We're talking about becoming your own inner architect. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's see if we could discover the blueprint for your authentic self.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is Adams identified this really significant gap. It was often overlooked. Before her work, journaling was often, dismissed.
Right, like it was just for kids or something.
Exactly. Either seen as a childish diary thing or maybe just a place to vent, unstructured. It was rarely seen as a deliberate, structured, even therapeutic practice. So her mission, and this is what makes the book so impactful for you, was to provide a practical framework, something accessible. She really reframed journaling, not just casual writing, but a legitimate, powerful tool for healing, for self-therapy that really anyone could use.
Yeah.
So our mission for this deep dive, to show you how this book is almost like a shortcut to understanding yourself more deeply, and importantly, why its wisdom feels more relevant, maybe even more urgent today than ever.
Absolutely. And Adams herself, she's a psychotherapist, a real pioneer in expressive writing. She didn't just, suggest journaling. She carefully crafted a system. Her core idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Basically, the act of putting words on a page. That's a direct doorway.
A doorway, yeah.
To self-awareness, to healing old stuff, and to actively, architecting your own growth. She talks about journaling as this ongoing conversation, a dialogue with your deepest self. And you shift roles constantly. You're the writer, but also the reader, the patient, but also the therapist.
Artist and archivist, too.
Exactly. Artist and archivist of your inner world. It's a really holistic view.
And that's the crucial thing she tackled. Before Adams, so many people would start a journal maybe with great intentions.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
Right. But then they'd abandon it pretty quickly. And the reason? They just didn't know how to use it effectively beyond, maybe surface level catharsis or just writing down what happened that day.
You were missing that deeper engagement.
Exactly, the real exploration. And this raises an important question probably for anyone listening who's ever stared at a blank notebook feeling a bit lost. What if journaling could be systematized? What if you had clear, flexible techniques?
Tools, basically.
Yeah, tools to intentionally explore different parts of your psyche or specific emotions instead of just writing aimlessly. Adams really stepped into that gap. She gave not just permission, but a practical framework, a kind of therapeutic bridge, making that profound growth accessible, regardless of, writing skill or background.
And that, for me, that really is the heart of the book. It's what sets it apart. Those 18 techniques she shares. It's not just abstract advice, like write your feelings. She gives you a whole toolbox.
A whole toolbox, yeah.
And each technique is it's like a different key for a different lock inside you. It's not Dear Diary. It's more like Dear Inner Self. Let's try this specific approach today. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because these aren't just writing exercises. They feel like psychological tools.
They absolutely are. Psychological tools disguised as prompts. Let's delve into a few of the really impactful ones. Imagine how you might use them. Okay. Take the dialogue technique. This one's incredibly powerful. It invites you to talk directly with a part of yourself, maybe your inner critic.
Or your future self. I've heard of that.
Exactly. Or a lingering fear. You can even dialogue with, say, your body. Or an unresolved situation, an unfinished project. You could literally write, me, why do you ache lower back?
And the back answers.
And the back answers, back. Because you've been carrying more than just weight. You're holding on to every deadline. You get the idea. It's a way to bypass that logical, conscious mind and tap into something deeper, some internal wisdom.
That's fascinating. It really does sound like a mini therapy session, just you and the page. How long would you do something like that for?
Oh, it varies. The key is just letting it unfold naturally, without judging it. Could be 5 minutes, could be 20. Then there's the list of 100. This one's brilliant for pushing past those first thoughts, the easy stuff.
Lists of 100. Wow, that sounds like a lot.
It is, but that's the point. You pick a theme, 100 things I'm grateful for, 100 fears, 100 goals, and you just brain dump. No censoring. What's really amazing is people find the most surprising insights, sometimes uncomfortable truths, start popping up around items, say number 60 or 70.
Really? After you think you've run out?
Yeah, way past where you thought you were done. It's like a deep dive into your subconscious.
I can see how that forces you to dig deeper.
Yeah.
Beyond the obvious. Okay, what about unsent letters? That one always sounds intriguing.
Oh, it's potent. genuinely liberating for many people. This is where you write the letter you'd never actually mail.
Okay.
Could be to someone you lost, someone who hurt you deeply, even a historical figure, or a past version of yourself. The power is in the raw, unfiltered expression. It gives you this profound sense of catharsis, clarity. It provides the conversation you needed to have but couldn't or maybe shouldn't in real life. It's about resolution for you.
Right, that's the key. It's internal work. For your own peace, not necessarily for them. What about captured moments? That sounds a bit more like creative writing.
It does, yeah, and that's exactly where Adams beautifully blurs the lines between therapy and creativity. Captured moments is about describing a memory vividly, using all your senses.
Not just what happened.
No, much more. What did you see, hear, smell, taste, feel? Making that memory really come alive on the page makes it more visceral. It often reveals new insights or emotions that just recounting it or even looking at a photo would totally miss. It's like stepping back into it.
An immersion, okay. And clustering.
Clustering is cool. It's like a free-form mind map. You stick a word or idea in the middle of the page.
And just go from there.
Yeah, you branch out with associations, images, feelings, whatever pops into your head. No logic needed. It's a wonderful way to kind of bypass that linear, logical left brain and tap into intuition, creative ideas. Often leads to surprising breakthroughs or solutions. So what all these techniques do, fundamentally, is shift journaling. It goes from just expression to deep exploration. It gives you real agency over your inner life, your thoughts. It's not just writing down what happened, it's using writing to make things happen inside you.
Okay, that's powerful. But I know so many people, myself included sometimes, who start journaling and then stop. We feel like we're doing it wrong, or there are these invisible rules we're breaking. It feels like a chore.
Yeah.
So what did Adams want us to unlearn? What were the big myths she was trying to bust?
Oh, she was absolutely a myth buster. That's a huge part of her genius, I think. She saw how these self-imposed barriers kept people away from this amazing tool. So myth number one, she just shattered. Journaling is just for teenagers or lonely people.
Right, the Dear Diary stereotype.
Exactly. Adams reframed it forcefully as a serious, legitimate tool for adults. All adults, executives, artists, parents, anyone seeking clarity. She even shared case studies, professionals using it to great effect, showed its universal power.
That's a huge relief, honestly. But what about the pressure? The idea you have to write every single day, that gets a lot of people stuck.
Oh, definitely. A major barrier. Myth number two, I have to write every day or I'm failing.
Oh.
Her mantra, which is so freeing, was basically, no rules, only tools.
No rules, only tools. I like that.
Yeah. She got that consistency helps, sure, but perfectionism, that kills any reflective practice. Her advice was more like, journal when you need to, when you feel called to it, when a technique sparks something. The goal isn't perfect attendance. It's deep engagement when it counts.
Okay, that takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
And what about the fear of the blank page? For those of us who think, I'm not a writer.
Ah, yes. Maybe the most crucial myth she debunked, I'm not a good writer, so I can't journal. Adams was absolutely adamant about this. She basically said, if you can talk, you can write. The journal doesn't care about commas.
Right. Not getting graded.
Exactly. It's about your voice, your authentic voice, not grammar, not style. The journal is for you, nobody else. And that just removes this enormous weight of self-consciousness. It opens the door for everyone.
Those myth busts alone are pretty transformative. But she didn't just tear down old ideas, right? She introduced some really revolutionary concepts, too.
She absolutely did. Changed the whole conversation, really. Her first big revolutionary concept was framing journaling as legitimate therapy. Now, back in the early 90s, this was radical.
Really? It seems kind of obvious now.
Well, it challenged the dominant idea that real healing, deep self-discovery, only happened in a clinic with a professional. Adams basically democratized it. She made deep self-exploration accessible. She created, as you said earlier, a therapist in your pocket.
A tool you could use anytime, anywhere.
On your own terms. That's a huge step towards democratizing mental well-being.
It really is. What else was revolutionary?
Her second big idea was dialogue with the self and beyond. This reframes how we see our own psyche, not as one single I.
But as multiple parts.
Exactly, as plural. She invites you to recognize and actually talk to different internal parts, the inner child, the wise elder, the critic. This kind of technique was usually kept for complex therapy. She gave it to ordinary people. A powerful psychological tool to understand your inner landscape.
To understand the different voices inside, rather than just being swept away by them?
Precisely. Leads to incredible self-compassion, clarity, and then the third concept, which we touched on.
The creativity link.
Yes, blurring therapy and creativity. Adams refused to put them in separate boxes. For her, self-healing and artistic expression were intertwined, a captured moment exercise that helps process grief. That could also become a poem.
A clustering exercise to solve a problem could spark a painting idea.
Exactly. And this integration is so important because it tackles that perfectionism barrier again. It makes journaling playful, adaptable, a source of both personal growth and creative juice all at once. Seeing your inner world as this rich, interconnected tapestry.
It's amazing to think she wrote all this in the early 90s. Before smartphones, social media overload, constant pings. Reading it now, her ideas feel almost prophetic. Maybe even more necessary now than back then.
They absolutely do. In our world today, this hyper-connected, often overwhelming place, her book isn't just a manual, it feels like an urgent antidote. Firstly, it's a vital antidote to digital overload. Our attention is just constantly fragmented.
Tell me about it.
Right. Journaling offers this analog, quiet space, a way to reclaim presence, privacy. Adams would probably say something like, the journal is the one place where you are not curated, not marketed to, not performing.
It's just you.
Just you, a sanctuary from all that external noise.
And thinking about mental health, support isn't always easy to get.
Exactly. Which leads to its second urgent relevance. It's an incredibly accessible mental health tool. We see rising rates of anxiety, stress, loneliness globally. Adams' vision of self-help that truly helps. Well, all you need is a pen and paper.
That's incredibly powerful.
It offers immediate, private, free access to emotional processing when maybe professional help is out of reach or too expensive. It really empowers you.
And you mentioned performance.
Yeah.
So much of our lives are lived online now, very publicly curated. How does journaling contrast with that?
It's a crucial counterbalance. Journaling offers depth in a surface-level world. Social media encourages highlight reels, right? Polished versions of ourselves. Journaling, especially with techniques like unsent letters or just stream of consciousness writing, demands honesty. It embraces the messiness. It allows you to explore vulnerability in a way our curated culture often discourages. It's where you can be imperfect, contradictory, truly authentic.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room now. AI, artificial intelligence. How would Adams' principles, written way before any of this, resonate now?
That's such a fascinating question. My sense is Adams would acknowledge the usefulness of digital tools, journaling apps.
Sure, the convenience, searchability.
Right, all that. But she would absolutely remind us of the irreplaceable slowness and embodiment of pen and paper. There's just something different happening in the brain, a different engagement when you physically write, that tactile connection. A screen doesn't quite replicate it.
So it's not about rejecting technology, but understanding the unique value of the physical act.
Precisely. And she might even, maybe provocatively, explore AI as a potential dialogue partner within a journaling context. Like maybe using an AI to play the role of your future self in a dialogue exercise, or your inner critic, or even embodying a challenge you're facing. It could act as a sophisticated mirror, maybe reflecting back ideas or questions you hadn't thought of.
Interesting. But I sense a but coming.
Absolutely. There's a crucial caution here, especially now. While AI could be a mirror, an aid, the true voice, the authentic insight still belongs to you. The journal itself, whether paper or digital, remains that lantern we carry into a complex, over-mediated world.
A lantern, I like that image.
It's the tool that helps ensure your inner narrative, your unique path, stays authentically yours. Not just an echo of algorithms or external prompts, it strengthens your internal compass.
That's a really profound way to think about it, a lantern in the digital fog. It makes you wonder, beyond all the techniques and the myth-busting, what's the quieter message? The deeper invitation in Adams' work, what's that unheard message she was really trying to get across?
Yeah, if you really listen to the spirit of her work, beneath the practical advice, there are these profound whispers. The first one, I think, is, you already carry your own answers. Every single technique is designed not to give you answers from outside, but to carve a path so your own inner wisdom can surface.
So we're more resourceful than we think.
Way more. She's gently telling us we're not as lost as we often feel. The answers are already in there. We just need a way to access them.
That's incredibly empowering. What else?
The second unheard message builds on that. Writing is a sacred act of reclaiming selfhood. In a world that pulls us in a million directions, defines us by our jobs, our roles, The journal is this sacred space. It's where you stitch yourself back together, reclaim who you are beneath all that. It's an act of, like, self-sovereignty.
And what about the hard stuff, the pain we all inevitably face?
Her third message, woven through with such compassion, is that pain is not meant to be buried. It's meant to be transformed. When she talks about writing the wounds, the implication is the page becomes a safe container.
A place to hold it.
Exactly. It can hold your brokenness, your grief, your anger safely until you're strong enough to really look at it, understand it, and eventually integrate it. It's like alchemy, turning lead into gold, slowly.
That idea that the page can be that strong, that kind of sanctuary, that's powerful.
It really is. And it connects to the next one. Your private life matters deeply. In our culture that celebrates output, achievement, being on all the time, Adams insists that your inner world, the unshared, unfiltered stuff, that's invaluable.
The quiet reflections.
Yes,
Love
that's the fertile ground. That's where your authentic life actually grows from. And finally, maybe the most hopeful one, the journal is a rehearsal for becoming, meaning you're not fixed, you're not stuck. On the page, you can draft yourself into a new way of being, try on new identities, explore possibilities. Life isn't some finished script. It's an ongoing draft, and the journal is where you practice the next scene, the next act.
Those are incredibly deep messages, way beyond just keeping a diary. So if Adams could distill everything down for you, our listener, into 5 core insights or principles to really hold on to, what would they be?
Okay, 5 core truths from Adams's world for you. First, the journal is a mirror and a compass. It shows you where you are, who you've been, and helps you navigate where you're going. Record and roadmap.
Okay, mirror and compass.
Second, there are no rules-only tools. You literally cannot fail at this. Pick up what works for you, adapt it, leave the rest. It's about permission, not perfection.
Got it. No rules.
Third, writing changes the writer. The act itself transforms your thoughts. It doesn't just capture them. It clarifies, deepens, and ultimately changes your understanding, changes you.
Writing changes the writer.
Fourth, journaling is for everyone, not just writers. Seriously, if you can talk, you can write. And if you can write, you hold the power to heal and create. Don't let the writer label stop you.
Love that. And the fifth.
Fifth, and maybe this wraps it all up, the journal is therapy, creativity, and spiritual practice in one. It's the space for your pain and your new ideas and where you listen for deeper wisdom. Adams would argue it's not some optional extra. It's essential inner maintenance, like brushing your soul's teeth.
Brushing your soul's teeth. I love that. You know, Journal to the Self really does feel less like just a book and more like a whole curriculum for self-discovery. It makes journaling so practical, but somehow keeps all the magic, all that deep potential intact. If you really let it, this book teaches you that your notebook, it's not just paper. It's a therapist, a creative studio, a sanctuary, even a time machine, all rolled into one. The blueprint for your inner architect.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Adams's unheard message is this powerful reminder. Journaling isn't just about passively recording your life. It's about actively reclaiming it, shaping it, becoming more fully yourself right in the middle of it. She leaves us with this fundamental truth. The page is both the question and the answer. You just have to start writing. So the question for you, listening now, is, what might you discover about who you are becoming? What answers might surface if you just commit, even for a few minutes, to that blank page?
That's our deep dive for today. We really hope this has given you a fresh perspective, maybe some inspiration about the power waiting in a simple notebook and pen. Until next time, keep exploring.